Today's lesson will be another lesson in the series of computation. The concept we'll be looking at is proportion. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to solve problems involving ratio. Can you do this question? $15,000 is to be divided among two friends in the ratio 2:3. What is the amount of the smaller share? At this moment, I'm going to ask you to follow my instruction. What is my instruction? Well, my instruction is to pause the video and try to do this question. Jano, enough money this, So how you plan to share that? Well, certainly in the ratio 2:3. So how do you work out the smaller share? Well, first, 2:3 means 2 parts to 3 parts. So that means the $15,000 is equal to 5 parts. Yes, that is correct after adding 2 and 3. The next step is to find what 1 part is equal to. So how you do that? Well, simple. Divide the whole or the total amount by the total number of parts. Oh, so that means that we must divide $15,000 by 5 to find 1 part. Yeah, that is correct. So what do I do next? After dividing the total amount by 5, you multiply the amount you get by 2 to find the smaller share. Okay, so that means if we multiply $3,000 by 2 and the smaller share would be $6,000. Note, here we have a total amount of money to be shared, which is 15 $1,000 bills. So this amount was divided into 5 parts. So here we have 1 part, then 2 parts, then 3 parts, then 4 parts. So now we have a total of 5 parts. Question: how many money is equal to 1 part? And then how many money is equal to 2 parts? And then how many money is equal to 3 parts? Now note, how many persons were this money shared between? That the answer would be 2 persons, right? So one person took 2 parts and the other person took 3 parts. So therefore, what we're realizing that is that the total number of parts in which the $15,000 was divided into was in fact 5 parts, while one person took 2 parts and the other person took 3 parts. So 1 part would have been $3,000, and then 2 times that will give us what? $6,000, and then 3 parts would be 3 times $3,000, which will give us $9,000. And if you add 6 to $9,000, you'll get $15,000. And if you have 2 parts to 3 parts, you get 5 parts, and therefore 5 parts is equal to $15,000. In summary, when given an amount or a value to be shared using a ratio, you do the following. Number 1, write down the sum to be divided. Number 2, write down the ratio. Number 3, add the figures in the ratio. And number 4, use the sum of the figures in the ratio to divide the total amount given, whether in currency, mass, time, etc., to find what one share is equal to. And lastly, multiply what one share is equal to by either figure in the ratio to find out how much is the value of the parts given in the ratio. Okay, for example, I have written down the sum given, which is $15,000. Good. Then I have written down the ratio, which is 2 to 3. Now you might be asking where I got this information from. Now where do you think I got this information from? Got information from the question given. Good. So in the question we were given the sum, which is $15,000. We're also given the ratio, which is 2 to 3. Now, so the next step, I add the figures or the numbers in the ratio, and the numbers in the ratio are what? 2 and 3. So I add 2 and 3. So 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Now I am going to use this sum, which is the 5, to divide the $15,000, and then my answer would be $3,000. So therefore one share is equal to $3,000. So $3,000 times 2 will give me $6,000, which is equal to the smaller share. Now for another CDP MATHS LAB, try this question. $25,000 is to be divided among 2 consultants in the ratio 2 to 3. What is the amount of the smaller share? As usual, you're going to pause the video and try this question. Well, the answer is $10,000. Now, if you had gotten this answer incorrect, all you needed to do was to, if you had made in the notes, go over your notes and then to see if you had followed each step by step, or you replay the video and see if you had followed each step by step. But if you got this answer correct, very good. Give yourselves a CDP MATHS LAB clap. Can you do this question part 2? A sum of money was divided among 2 friends in the ratio 3 to 7. If the smaller amount is $6,000, determine the larger amount. Tell me something. Did Mommy send us some money? Yes, she did. And I noticed you gave me only $6,000. Yeah, I did. So what? So, how much did you take for yourself? Well, you can figure it out for yourself. How? Well, simple. I use the ratio 3 to 7 to divide it up. Okay, so I figured that you gave me the smaller share. Huh? Well, yeah, I did. Well, to find how much you got, I'm gonna do this. Well, all I have to do is to divide the amount you gave me by the smaller figure in the ratio. So that means I divide $6,000 by 3, which is $2,000. So the $2,000 is 1 part. So therefore, 7 parts will be equal to $14,000. You are unfair. In summary, when given a share of a total value and the ratio, and asked to determine the larger share or the smaller share, you do the following. Number 1. Write down the given share. Number 2. Write down the ratio. Number 3. Note that the smaller share match with the smaller number in the ratio. Number 4. Note also that the larger share match with the larger number in the ratio. And number 5. Divide the given share by the number it matches with in the ratio. And number 6. Note that the quotient would equal to 1 part. And number 7. Now multiply the quotient by the larger number in the ratio to find the larger share. Well, for example, note that I have written down the share given, which is the smaller share, which is $6,000. And then I have written down the ratio, which is 3 to 7. Now I take the smaller number in the ratio, which is 3, to divide the smaller share, which is $6,000. So therefore I get what? $2,000. Now this $2,000 represents how many parts? Yes, it represents 1 part. So the quotient is equal to $2,000. Now in order to find the larger share, I take the larger number in the ratio, which is 7, and multiply it by 1 part. So therefore 7 parts will be 7 times $2,000, and therefore it will be equal to $14,000. So the larger share is equal to $14,000. Try this question. A sum of money is divided among 2 friends in the ratio 4:11. If the smaller amount is $420, determine the larger amount. And once again, at this moment you are going to pause the video and try this question. The answer is $1,155. Instructions. You will be given a problem and its answer. Your task is to find the steps to arrive at the answer. Doing this activity without the help of a textbook or any other source of help will make you a better mathematics student, so do the right thing. A word to the wise is sufficient. Question 1. A sum of money was to be shared among 3 friends, Albert, Bruce, and Christine. Received $495 more than Bruce. Determine the sum of money shared. The answer is $3,300. Question 2. A sum of money is to be divided among Yuri, Anna, and Maria in the ratio 4:7:9. If Anna's share amounts to $1,295, calculate 1. The total sum of money to be shared, 2. Yuri shared, and number 3. The percentage of the total amount that Maria received. The answer for part 1 is $3,700. The answer for part 2 is $740. And the answer for part 3 is 45%. Now we have come to another lesson. The End, created by Ronique Bernard. Once again, walk good, trust and obey, because there is no other way to be happy in Jesus Christ. Please stay tuned to CDP MATHS LAB.